Yeah, talking some Lady Vols over the weekend. Caleb has been very high on this program, and he needs to get high on Robitussin because the coffee's brutal.
Cooper Mays here. Hit like and subscribe. Coop here. First down.
First down. This Lady Vols team is blank compared to where I thought they would be in the preseason.
Great.
I was going to go with better, significantly better.
Significantly better. If you remember John Adams, our own John Adams didn't even have them billed as an NCAA tournament caliber team. I had them as an NCAA tournament caliber team that needed to wait for Caldwell's recruits to get in before they could get where they needed to go. Coming off an 87-86 loss to Oklahoma, they still need recruits to get to where they're going to go, where they're willing to go. But they are much better. I mean, this team is very talented.
Yeah, well down, Coop. Oh.
Cooper Mays here. Second down.
Tennessee's most important player is.
Started with Talasia Cooper. Man, I'm going Jewel Spear now. Jewel Spear is having Chaz Lanier run with the way she's been shooting recently.
All right, I like that. What down, Coop?
Tennessee center Cooper Mays here. Third down.
Tennessee's most unsung hero, the dirty work person, the non-Jonas Adu, is.
Ooh, the non-Jonas Adu for the person who does what Jonas Adu should be doing is what you're really saying.
Just tag Jonas Adu so you can watch us tear him apart. All right, go ahead.
Well, the dirty work person is one of their best players though, so I can't say like that because she's Talasia Cooper. Still, I mean, she's out here averaging 3.5 steals, a block a game.
Give me an X. Okay, let me change it. Give me an X factor player. Who's somebody?
Z Spearman.
Okay.
Z Spearman, when she's on, it's a big deal.
When she's on, it's tough to beat. Okay, so now
All SEC center Cooper Mays here. Fourth down.
Lady Vols play makes me think they will do this in the women's basketball tournament.
Push for the Elite Eight.
But you're saying Sweet 16.
I'm saying Sweet 16. And I want to analyze this loss Saturday or Sunday to Oklahoma because for those who don't know, Tennessee was trailing by 19 in the third quarter, came back, lost by 1. They had a chance to win it in the end, and Sarah Puckett missed a wide open 3. People are mad about the shot, but Dave, I think you know this following the NBA. I know if you're down by 1 and you only need 2 to win, it's one thing, but like if you're wide open, if you got a wide open look from 3, you got to take it if you're a 3-point shooter, right?
Yep.
Like you got to shoot that. And they left her wide open. She took the shot. She missed it. It happens sometimes, but I think one of the issues with Tennessee is that we're seeing when they're not forcing turnovers, their half-court defense is an issue. So they're not good at playing straight up, just forcing a missed shot. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it's probably a size issue, isn't it?
No, they got the size. They got the size and athleticism. It's the way they're coached to play. They all play like Allen Iverson did back in the day, where they all just go straight in for the passing lanes, pretty much. And they're willing to get beat if it happens. And
Vincent Yarbrough was the worst I ever saw do that. I think he led the team in steals. I don't know that he played a lick of defense the entire year. All he did is drop in the passing lanes.
Yeah, that's what they have. She has all her players doing. By the way, when you have size and athleticism, it works because it generates a lot of turnovers. But they've got to be able to have a little bit more of a cohesive half-court defense on the other end, because that was an issue in yesterday's game. Now, again, here's the question. Is that ever going to be a thing? Because Kim Caldwell may not, her philosophy may just be, no, we're just going to go for the steals. And if we don't get them, then they got us. I think she hopes to be able to outscore teams more. There was a lot of high scoring yesterday, but when they're not hitting their threes, they're off because they were only 10 of 36 from 3 yesterday. I think that's where the recruiting is going to come into play. You have 3 or 4 players coming in that are all athletes who can shoot very well from outside. So I think her philosophy is play the passing lanes, play insanely aggressive. And if you got enough 40% 3-point shooters, then no matter what, you're always going to be on shooting from 3.
Well, it's a basketball team that is a little bit better in 2 areas than I thought they would. And together, that has me with the same expectations that you mentioned, which is pushing for the Elite Eight. I think their talent is a little bit better than I thought. Tell me if you disagree with that. And I think Kim Caldwell, while I thought they just got what they could, and instead of going out and making a big-time, big-name hire, I think she's a little bit better than I thought. So I think it's across the board. I don't think it's a situation where one player has come out and is suddenly All-American. I just think across the board is a little bit better. I wonder if moving forward, Caleb, with this style of play, does Tennessee have to win one of those lottery top recruiting battles where you get a Candace Parker, a Maya Moore, or is the game and Kim Caldwell beyond that? I'm not saying you turn down a blue chip player, but do you have to have one of the preeminent prospects? And usually they were number one and there was a fall off. Nowadays it's a little closer. You know, you got Caitlin Clarks and stuff like that. But do you think they have to get that blue chip elite player to win a championship in Kim Caldwell's system? Or do you feel like that they can do it with a collection of very good players?
I think the collection of very good players is what they have to have, because I think given the tempo Kim Caldwell runs, I don't think a blue chip elite player can, this is kind of weird to say, Dave, but like they're not really going to reach everything they may want to reach under Kim Caldwell, because she's going to have to rotate so much. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Like, okay, when you go play for South Carolina and Dawn Saylor, Pat Summitt back in the day, if you're that blue chip elite player, you're playing 35 minutes a game, right?
Yes.
Pretty much. Nobody can. Kim Caldwell wants to get to a point where nobody's playing more than 30 minutes in this system. And so no matter how good you are, there's somewhat of a ceiling. That's always kind of the flaw with system teams in basketball. It was the same. Do you remember Bruce Pearl back in the day? Like, okay, 05-06 with Chris Lofton, Juwan Smith, he has a top 10 program. 4 years later, he gets Scotty Hobson, a 5-star, and really kind of has the same type of program because his system is all about going so deep. Nobody could ever stand out as like an NBA lottery pick, pretty much. And I think that's kind of what Kim Caldwell is running at Tennessee. The question is with Kim Caldwell is going to be this. Is it just the system, or will she be able to do what Bruce Pearl has been able to do, which is adjust as maybe more SEC teams adjust to what she runs in the next 4 years?
I didn't think Bruce Pearl did a fantastic job of adjusting after he lost Juwan James and Chris Lofton. And let's be honest.
Juwan Smith,
excuse me. And Chris Lofton. And let's be honest for a second. I mean, I think we underestimated how much talent he had in terms of shooters there. And we saw what Lofton grew into, and he would have been an All-American had it not been for the cancer his senior year. And Juwan was a fantastic shooter. I didn't feel like Bruce Pearl did a great job of transitioning from that group and what they did well to, I guess, the next group would have been the Tyler Smith group.
See, I think that next group actually got more talented. Here's what we underestimated.
Right, I think they got more talent, but I don't think he adjusted to their strengths. Is what I'm trying to.
No, he didn't. He didn't at all. And here's the issue: we didn't necessarily underestimate the talent. What we underestimated was how unprepared the SEC was for Bruce Pearl's style of play when he came in, because nobody was playing tempo in the SEC at that time. It's very similar to, we always bring up Spurrier, how unprepared the SEC was for Spurrier's fun and gun in the 90s. The difference is, as you know, Spurrier was able to adjust on a yearly basis based on what SEC defenses were doing. And I think Pearl struggled somewhat to adjust to a certain degree.
Okay. I'm going to really put you on the spot here. You ready?
Yep.
In 10 years, men and women, we will talk about Tennessee's best coaches, being, of course, Pat Summitt, number one, being Ray Mears, being Bruce Pearl, being Rick Barnes. Will Kim Caldwell in 10 years be in that conversation?
Yes, I think she will. And by the way, Rick Barnes has already surpassed Bruce Pearl and Ray Mears. He's already the best coach in Tennessee basketball history.
I was just taking a collection. No, I agree with that.
Rick Barnes is the best basketball coach in Tennessee history.